The Killer.
The Killer is a 2023 film release through Netflix. It's rated R and it runs for 1 hour and 58 minutes. It is based on a graphic novel series by the same name and is written by Alex Nolet. The screenplay is written by Andrew Kevin Walker and is directed by David Fincher.
For the director of this film, David Fincher, the first film I saw by him was Seven. And if you can imagine, young kid, actually going in and watching that movie, I was definitely blown away for that film. So when I saw this film, through the preview of the trailer, I was excited to see it. I knew I was going to get a chance to see it, being that it was on Netflix.
A solitary, cold, methodical, and unencumbered by scruples or regret, the killer, played by Michael Fassbender, waits in shadows, watching for the next target. Yet, the longer he waits, the more he thinks he's losing his mind, if not his cool. This is a brutal, bloody, and stylish noir story of a professional assassin lost in a world without a moral compass.
I just had a great imagination of what this film would entail. Upon watching, I realized that this film was really taking place in the main character, the killer's head, or his mind, his personal thoughts throughout the whole film. And as I watched, I guess I kind of kept expecting that would change at a certain point. That we would step outside of his head or his thoughts and have that experience as a voyeur. But the film carried throughout within his head his thoughts as he was either, because the film starts out with him in a warehouse or just a building that's going under some renovations, and he's looking across the way to another building, and we're seeing the action that's happening, and time passes, more time passes. You hear this dialogue, this internal dialogue that's going on with him of how he's staying motivated, how he is keeping himself sharp and not letting his guard down because he has a job to do. Things unfold as he's waiting, and he is obviously there to take the shot, and we see how things unfold from that moment. From that moment on, we are kind of on this fast-paced ride throughout the rest of the film of how he is dealt with what he has done in that situation. Obviously we understand that he's a hitman, he's an assassin, just kind of certain things that happen after the job is done. Seeing the trailer, I felt that the film was going to be really slick and fast-paced, but there is kind of a pace to it that's kind of, to me, was unexpected, and kind of carries you on in a methodical way throughout the rest of the film, and we are then introduced to other characters that this main character, the killer, works with. I can think of one scene in particular within this film that had me on the edge of my seat, just kind of really, really tense. And I think it will also be a scene that I will always remember because it was so unique in the way that they approached it, in the sense of, yes, it's a fight scene, but at the same time, there are other things that are involved within this fight scene that up the ante. So I would say for The Killer, a 2023 film release through Netflix, directed by David Fincher, and it's starring Michael Fassbender. For this film, I'm going to give it a solid 4. I was definitely, the first time around, maybe I was a little expecting something different, but upon the second viewing, understanding what I was going to be seeing, I kind of understood and even enjoyed more the internal dialogue with the character. I think initially I was expecting that to kind of fizzle out within the action scenes or whatever, but it carries throughout the film. And so at the same time, when I watched it the second time, understanding that, I was able to focus more in on the dialogue, because it is an important fact of the film that we're hearing what the main character is saying within his head, and it relates to what he does as a hitman and what is the action that's happening around him. So yeah, I'm going to give this film a solid 4. I think that's a strong piece. I think there's some things that I would like to have seen, maybe a little bit more backstory of the main character. Again, I guess I was thinking something slick, something, fast-paced, but I think the film's pace in this movie is appropriate, and it definitely makes the film much more enjoyable. So the film that I'll be reviewing for you next week is another Netflix release, and this one is Reptile, and it stars Benicio del Toro. So there you have it. That's my review for The Killer. It's a Netflix 2023 film release directed by David Fincher. If you've seen this film and you enjoyed it, or maybe you didn't enjoy it, leave those comments in the comment box below. I'd like to have a dialogue back and forth on some of the things that you maybe didn't like or did like, or maybe you saw some things that I mentioned that you agree with. Leave those things in the comment box below. If you like this review, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, make sure to subscribe, because I will continue to make more movie reviews and other posts that I have posted on the channel. And if you haven't seen any of those, make sure to check those out. And so yeah, like we always do at this time, have a blessed day. I will see you on the flip side. Let's go.